And I'm also, hey, Facebook Live world. We're going to be kicking this thing off in about a minute and a half. We've got a great lineup today. We've got Dr. K. Solar talking about Singer-Songwriter Festival and how you can attend festivals without worrying about contracting coronavirus. I'm kidding, Dr. Solar. We're going to talk about cortical vision impairment and what some cool people in Louisiana are doing in furtherance of legislation on that, as well as speaking at a national conference. In our second half, we've got the Louisiana Arts and Science Museum talking about Engineering Day. Taylor, I don't know if you know this or not. We got an Engineering Day coming up. We're talking robots, like robots.
Robots?
Robots.
Hey, I'm ready.
Like not Terminator robots, but like robots. And then lastly, we're going to have the folks from Thrive come in and talk to us about a basketball tournament, a celebrity basketball tournament coming up in Baton Rouge, March 20th. So, really March 20th, you could do the Songwriter Festival and the tournament. 2 events one day. So just saying that. We're going to start at about 10:30. So let me share this Facebook Live from Talk 107.3. Is it on there? Is it on? Is it up? Is it live? Is it hot? I'm going to share it. All right. You want to start the intro music? This is Geaux Rouge episode 17.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, you ready to go?
Yeah, let's do this. Let's kick this pig, is what I say every week. When you point at me, I'm going to start my own clock, too. All right. Welcome, everybody, to episode 17 of the Geaux Rouge radio show. This is your host, Franz Borchardt. I've got Taylor behind Master Controls. Taylor's like a diet version of Brian Haldane, like the Tab version of Brian. No, you're Pepsi Zero. That's what you are. Don't be insulted. That was a compliment. I love Pepsi. So we've got a jam-packed episode today. We've got some folks coming in to talk about some great events going around Baton Rouge. Our first guest is going to be Dr. K. Solar. Then we're going to have the folks come in and talk about some work that's going on with cortical visual impairment. Second half, we're going to have Louisiana Arts and Science Museum come in and talk about Engineering Day. We're going to be talking about some robots, hopefully. And then lastly, we're going to have a conversation with the folks from Thrive Academy about a basketball tournament that's coming up. Before we jump in, though, the Geaux Rouge show is brought to you by the following sponsors. We have the Smith, Shanklin, and Sosa personal injury law firm. They are the premier personal injury lawyers for you. They're not billboard guys. They are just people that take care of business. We got Realtor Brittany Malance on. She will help you list it, sell it, and then move on. We've got Breck, Louisiana Tech Park, the folks from Sullivan's. Always fun to go in for a Thirsty Thursday at Sullivan's. We're going to be doing one this week that we're going to talk about. And then last but not least, the Borchardt Law Firm. Taylor, I don't know if you know this or not. The Borchardt Law Firm is a sponsor, a firm supporter of the Geaux Rouge radio show. That's right. I hear the boss there is a real. Anyways. All right. So first up, Taylor, we've got, Dr. K. Solar, right?
I do.
We've got K. Come on in. Come here. So K. Solar is one of my favorite folks.
Oh, thank you.
Nobody knows how to throw a good festival like Dr. Solar. And we've got her coming in today to talk about the Singer-Songwriter Festival. Doc, how's it going?
It's great. Thank you.
I am excited. This is one of my favorite events. The best part about this event is that for the most part, it's free.
Absolutely.
You can go to the local businesses. You can catch great entertainment, support the businesses, listen to great art and music. Tell us all about it. What's going on?
Well, if you think about where is this festival? It's the 3rd Street Songwriters Festival.
I like it.
So it all starts downtown on 3rd Street. We start down at Jolie Pearl and work all the way down 3rd Street. We might scoot around to some of our hotel sponsors that swing up to the Indigo, the Hilton, and loop back around at Poor Boy Lloyd's this year and then come back and hit 3rd Street and go down. But most of it is free, and we want people to enjoy the downtown and support those businesses. So we have 170 singer-songwriters from Louisiana, from not just within our area, but throughout the entire state. We've got them coming from other states and some big hit songwriters from Nashville. So they're all going to be in these venues. I have 10 going on Saturday from 1 to 6 p.m.
So this is March 20th through 22nd, right?
Yes. So on Friday, the 20th, any aspiring songwriters, we do have a workshop that they can sign up for. We bring in a big hit writer,
cool.
Jim McCormick, who's a New Orleans boy, who's going to be giving that. And then we have a little welcome event for folks coming in for the festival. Our big hit writer show is at the Red Dragon. You know, they were named the #1 acoustic venue in the world by Newsweek magazine.
How does that happen? How do you get named
I don't know, and neither does the owner, but I mean, heck, he'll take it. And I think,
right.
That's an amazing thing. I mean, people are really wanting to go there, and that show is going to be sold out because it's just such a cool venue. We've got stuff going.
That is one of the ticketed events. Right?
That is one of the ticketed events. There's two ticketed events that you need to get in advance. One of them is that at the Red Dragon Listening Room on Friday night, and the other is we have an Epicurean dinner. I know this is right up your alley there, Franz.
I eat occasionally.
Hey, only thing I can say is that there is not any octopus on the menu.
Well, you lost me.
I know, but you have to come anyway.
All right, so tell me about this Epicurean Society dinner. This is going to be at the Watermark, right?
It's going to be at the Watermark in their wine room, and if we have overflow, then we're going to be going into their vault room downstairs.
Have you been to their vault?
Yes, I have.
So
I
sexy.
love their vault.
Taylor, the vault is amazing. It's an amazing event space. I use the word sexy. It is. There's a big vault.
It's really cool. It's cool. And it gives such a history of the hotel with being the old bank building. But it's going to be 4 courses with paired cocktails and a hit writer playing for you during the dinner who Matt Warren is our hit writer for that night. And some others may make some guest little appearances. But if you love Gary Allan, he wrote Every Storm Runs Out of Rain. He's had some blues cuts and Grammy nom for an album in blues, but it's going to be amazing.
Most important question. First, if I wanted to get information about your event, about this wonderful 3rd Street Singer-Songwriter Festival, where would I go?
You need to go to our website, which is thirdstreetsongwritersfestival.com, spelled out third. And if you go to the shop page, you can purchase your tickets right there for this dinner. And you can also check out the lineup because we've got 10 venues going on Saturday. We've got some brunch specials. I know that's up your alley, too.
#Baton Rouge brunches.
Heck yeah.
So that was my other question.
On Sunday, lots of songwriters playing on Sunday. Stroobies is opening specially with their brunch that they don't have all the time. They have a great brunch at the Gregory. And, of course, we do our Songwriter Sundays every week at Jolie Pearl. The Hilton's going to be participating, and we're going to have music in front of the Starbucks out in front of the Courtyard Marriott. So
you would be
Sunday as well.
You would be wise to possibly consider making this a staycation.
Maybe
getting a room downtown.
You should. And there's so many people who do that. And our partner hotels, we've got, the Watermark, the Indigo, the Hilton, and the Courtyard Marriott.
Awesome.
They've all got music in them throughout the weekend. And there's so much going on. You're not going to want to drive home.
So this is Dr. K. Solar. She is talking about the Singer-Songwriter Festival, March 20th to 22nd. That website again is thirdstreetsongwritersfestival.com, spell out third. All right. So I'm not going to get into a protracted conversation with you, Doc, about coronavirus. However, people have been asking. I just threw the chicken wing event. We're going to talk about that later, Taylor, the Wingomania. Is this a concern to where you shouldn't come to the festival?
Absolutely not.
Right.
What I tell people,
you're a doctor.
Well, I'm a doctor. I can take care of you. But no, the big festivals that canceled around the country, a lot of them, they had global visitors. They had 500,000 people packed in a small space. This is like, our festival event is like if you were going out to dinner. And most people are not going to stay home and board themselves in their house. We're going to take, everybody's taking good hygiene precautions, washing your hands. That's one of the biggest thing. And remember, those that are being affected are those that have been immunocompromised or elderly. And we are taking some special mic health hygiene precautions for our performers.
Well, we appreciate you coming in to the Geaux Rouge show, Kay.
Thank you so much for having me.
Looking forward to this festival, and we will definitely have you back on, and I will see you at the festival.
Great.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So now, Taylor, we have the folks coming in to talk to us a little bit about legislation as well as this cortical visual impairment issue. I did not know what cortical visual impairment was or is, but now we're going to talk about it. I've got McWhorter as well as Kathryne Hart coming in. Hey, ladies, what's going on?
Hi.
Good morning.
All right, so let's start with the basics. So we just had a doctor in here talking about coronavirus. I think it's only appropriate now that we talk about cortical visual impairment. What is cortical and visual impairment?
Cortical visual impairment is a brain-based vision impairment. You have two types of vision impairment. The one everybody knows about affects the eyes and optic nerves, blindness of the eye. Cortical visual impairment is any kind of injury to the brain can disrupt the visual pathways. So our kids see with their eyes, but their brain does not process what they see.
Okay.
It's like looking through a kaleidoscope or a piece of abstract art.
Okay.
So the difference between cortical visual impairment and ocular impairment is that cortical visual impairment can improve.
Okay.
Whereas ocular visual impairment can't. So with early intervention, you can work with kids. Most of them have multiple disabilities, just like cerebral palsy. Just like cerebral palsy can improve with physical therapy, cortical visual impairment can improve with targeted interventions to teach kids what they see.
So out of all our kids roaming around in Louisiana or the planet, how many kids does this issue affect?
We don't actually know.
Okay.
This is such a new forefront within the medical community of understanding this and seeing the test cases showing how much improvement can happen with therapy. That's what we're trying to determine.
Okay.
But any child who receives the correct type of therapy for CVI will improve.
That's the important thing, right?
There's one test case that we're aware of. I'm sure there's more where within the scale of vision, it went from a 2, which is functionally blind. The child went all the way up to a 9, which is seeing.
Okay.
And he's in the general education environment.
So I have y'all in here today for a couple of different reasons. One, you guys are working on some legislation, right? Yep. To address this at our state level. So talk to me. Is it Regina Barrow that's spearheading it, or
Senator Regina Barrow is, as always, a champion for the women and children of the state.
Love it.
We have SB 126. We're looking for some bipartisan support. We're expecting that to come online this week.
Okay.
So what it's going to do is establish a commission with a specific makeup, and it's going to allow to determine early risk factors to screen the children of our state to see if they would qualify or to look for CVI. And then Kathryne can tell you this is modeled after Act 417. Louisiana was actually one of the first states to do this exact thing, but to look for hearing impairment. So we took that model, we've applied it to CVI, and then we are excited about a conference in July.
Well, let's ease into that conference, because the other reason you guys are here is y'all are kind of a big deal. I mean, I don't want to make a big deal out of this or anything, Taylor, but these guys, these ladies, these women are going to be presenting at the Building Legislation for Identification of Children with CVI as a national model at sit down or stand up, the American Conference of Pediatric Cortical Visual Impairment in Omaha, Nebraska in July.
Yes.
So you guys are going to be on a national stage for this medical issue that affects children.
And it's a medical conference.
Like, how did this happen? How did y'all get involved with this?
I am actually a member of the Pediatric Cortical and Visual Impairment Society.
Okay.
And I went to this conference 2 years ago. This conference is mainly for medical professionals, but it is also open to teachers, physical therapists, and parents. So I went 2 years ago, which was about a year after my son was diagnosed with cortical visual impairment.
I was just about to ask you, Kathryne, if this hit close to home for you. So you have a son that has this.
Yes, he was diagnosed at 5.5 months, which is extremely early. We were very lucky that I happened to be in a Facebook group with parents who had his same seizure type and asking, why is my son no longer looking at my face?
So
He's
is it
not
connected
tracking.
to seizures?
It can be. His is a very rare case that's caused by a very rare seizure type.
Okay.
But any type of injury to the brain can cause this.
TBIs, epilepsy. They're still trying to tease out how autism may or may not be involved. It may be where the same therapies will work for for visual processing, but that's still being teased out.
So you got involved in this as a mama bear. I mean, this is. It's fair to say that this hit directly at home.
I had to corner a medical professional with the symptoms and say, I need you to check my child for this. Other parents in the area have not had as much success on getting a diagnosis. But in ours, they checked his eyes. They said there's nothing wrong with the eyes. And based on the medical history and the fact that he looked at nothing. Maybe he stared at the lights, but he stopped. No toys, not my face, anything.
This is 5 months old.
5 months old.
Okay.
And they said because of his seizure history, even though his MRI was normal, we're going to call it, at the time, he said, this is what we used to call cortical blindness. So what can we do?
Okay.
Nothing you can do. Just take him home, treat him as blind. But I heard there's a way that this can improve.
Right.
Well, I don't know about that. Vision therapy doesn't work. Well, that's because the interventions are educational.
Now, just for context, your son at the time was 5 months. How old is he now?
He is 4 years old now.
So this was like recent, right? So recently, as of 3.5 years ago, doctors didn't know what, and still.
Oh no, I've talked to doctors where I said, okay, we're going to the CVI conference, and they said, what is that? And they run emergency medicine.
For people, yeah. I mean,
these are ophthalmologists because it's not a problem with the eye.
So, Kathryne, how did you connect dots? So you're not satisfied with what the doctors are telling you.
Right.
You're the mama bear, and look, I have a shout out to Fisher. I have a 4-year-old, so I know what it's like to be looking at your own child and being the protective,
Right.
So how did you connect those dots to get to where we are now?
So there are Facebook groups, honestly. There are Facebook support groups for every rare disease and then also including cortical visual impairment. So they start connecting you to parents who previously started writing books about parent stories. That's how I found out about Carter, because our story matched up exactly with one of the parent stories in the books. And then that connected me to other moms, and I was really upset about the lack of services in Louisiana when my child was about 7 months old. We were maybe seen twice for a teacher for the visually impaired within 6 months, and I just was screaming on the internet, and a mom calls me. She was in Indiana at the time. She's like, this is what you need to do. And she connected me with the Pediatric Cortical Visual Impairment Society. She was instrumental in starting visually impaired preschool services in Indiana. And she started just mentoring me on what we needed to do to change legislation in Louisiana.
So at that point, you became an advocate.
Yes.
Now, what I'm going to ask, I know what Ann does for a living. What were you doing for a living at this point?
Still, what I do for a living is I work at a chemical plant.
So what do you do at a chemical plant?
I'm actually a production planner scheduler. I balance supply and demand.
So you're going from working at a chemical plant to becoming an advocate for this very, I don't want to say rare, but
it's still, yeah.
understood, if you will, or little understood pediatric issue, and now you and Ann are going to present at a medical conference.
Yes.
Well, we've been best friends for a few years.
And then I was going to ask how you guys connected.
We also are the admins that run a Facebook group of advocates across Louisiana called Act Now. We run over 800 families. And so that group...
What is Act Now?
Act Now is a closed Facebook group of advocates and families across Louisiana on disability issues, and we were instrumental in getting Acts 117 and SCR 99 passed last session.
Okay.
So when she came to me and said, let's look at a bill, this is how all of this came about.
So I got to tell you, I know Ann, and Ann has been flirting with this information that she could not come out with publicly, and I've wanted to get you guys on radio because I think it is your story. First of all, your story is uber cool. The fact that you are going to present at this conference,
at a medical conference, and we're just two parents,
just two moms that love their kids, that just and think about all the innovation that you guys through the legislation, because I have to assume that this is legislation that will not have vast opposition. I hope not.
And we're bringing prototypes.
Ooh.
We've
Tell me more.
QuietCom is developing a prototype as a movable tent that would be able to help with therapy. We actually have a meeting later at 4 o'clock this afternoon with a virtual reality company because the headsets can be used to diagnose and track eye movement even when children can't speak.
Okay.
Which we're looking at the applications for CVI and then also for autism for people who are nonverbal.
So do you? I know autism is near and dear to your heart, and you alluded to this possibly being connected to autism, but at the very least, what I'm sensing is this supportive, like collective nature of it. Starts with the online communities where moms and dads are like talking about issues and trying to figure out, hey, I love my kid. I want to know what's going on. And then once you discover what's going on, how do you fix it? Is it fixable?
Well, something important about autism is that 30% of all children who have autism will also have epilepsy.
Okay.
So if you have epilepsy, if you get towards a TBI, then again, we're looking at CVI from that.
And they're finding that the rate of autism among CVI is 3 times that of the general population. But then there's also CVI often can be misdiagnosed as autism because of the lack of eye contact and the sensory issues. Our kids have a problem with clutter. They cannot see when you're in a big cluttered environment. Actually, these black
Some
walls.
of us have problems with clutter.
These black walls are the perfect place.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
You could just do black walls with like a light in one environment.
Yeah.
So, I guess my last question for you guys, because I know Ann is a very good advocate as well as lobbyist. If people like me or Taylor want to get involved in this legislation in terms of supporting it, what are the things that we can do? I mean, I'm certainly not an expert on cortical visual impairment, although it seems like a lot of doctors aren't either. What can I do to support this common sense, very good piece of legislation?
Call your legislators.
Okay.
Simply call your legislators and say, we support SB 126.
Okay.
And so we're expecting this to be bipartisan. How can this be contentious? We're helping children.
I don't know how it would be. I mean, you've got a way to help children, and it's a fixable method. I mean, what was, again, the rate of and I'm fixing, I don't want to say they're broken, but the way of helping them being able to see.
Right.
What was your rate of
Every child can improve.
Right. That is, and that improvement may be different with different kids, but we're talking about the ability to see. And
Right.
so, you know.
And increase functionality, increase the potential for independent living.
And it's also teaching them skills of blindness for when they are in situations where their vision is not reliable, too.
Well, this is amazing. So the only bad thing about this conference, first of all, national conference, the only bad thing is it's in Omaha, Nebraska. Like, next time y'all need to, like, urge for, like, Vegas or New York City. I mean,
They've had it in Omaha every year because
it's tied to the College World Series. Yeah.
Well, no, it's tried. The Children's Hospital of Omaha has always put it on. It used to be right after the College World Series.
Well,
so you used to be able to go.
So, Ann, Kathryne, I appreciate you guys coming in. I guess the last question I have for you guys is, if I want to just get more information about you or what y'all are doing, where would I go, website-wise or Facebook-wise?
Facebook, Implement Act 696 is the Facebook page that ACT now runs off of. And then my email address is Anne, A-N-N-E, at quietcalmllc.com.
And I run a group for parents and professionals working with kids with CVI called CVI Tiger Parents of Louisiana.
Amazing.
Yes, it's a small group right now, but it's for anybody who's wanting to collaborate to improve services for kids with CVI.
Well, I appreciate you ladies coming in. We will definitely follow up on the story. Maybe we do a Thirsty Thursday and get you guys to come in after you pass this great legislation. That's about it for this segment of Geaux Rouge radio show. We're going to come back with our second half in just a minute. Facebook Live, don't go anywhere. All right. Let's take a photo real fast. Can we take a photo? How's your father doing? I hadn't seen him in a while. I'm so glad you guys are doing this. It's a good thing. I'll be in touch with you later. Thank you guys. And if there's anything I can do to help, let me know. Okay. Wasn't that easy? Denise Marcel? Hope you're listening. Foil. She actually llama tats? I don't know what you're talking about. Tramp stamp? What? Franz Borchardt has octopus tattoos, not llama tattoos.
Not llama.
All right.
This is my first time being on the radio, so I'm nervous.
So
just so you know. Normally Nick would be here.
it's okay. So what's going to happen, Francis, is we're going to intro the show for 2 minutes, and then you are going to talk about Engineering Day for 5 minutes.
Okay.
We've been talking about robots. Is there robots?
Okay.
Are there robots there?
Yes, there will be robots.
Like, are we talking like Terminator robots or like?
Like,
robotics is a big thing.
Yeah, it really is. People love robotics.
So essentially, it's going to be super easy. So this is Frances, everybody. She's with the Louisiana Arts and Science Museum. Say hi, everybody. There's a video right over there.
Hi, everybody.
So we are on Facebook Live. We're on Facebook Live, and then this will be on the actual radio on Saturday at noon. Knock on wood. So,
awesome.
So your plug is really, I mean, you're laughing because it's true, dude. So it is a podcast and a radio show.
Okay, got it.
So you want to kick off things? You just stand here.
Yeah,
and
we're
pretty
good to
for a
go,
second.
man.
All right. All right, welcome back to the second half of the Geaux Rouge radio show, episode 17. Taylor is on master controls. This is your host, Franz Borchardt. This half, we're going to be talking about killer robots, Taylor. Hand-to-hand combat robot. Okay, we're not talking about that. We're talking about national. It's not national. It's the 7th annual Engineering Day festival at the Louisiana Arts and Science Museum. It'd be fun if they were killer robots.
I think so too.
But we're going to have, I think so too. So we're going to have Francis coming up, and then we're going to have the Thrive Academy, Taylor, talking about a basketball tournament. It's a celebrity basketball tournament, but I just got to throw this out there. Haldane's not in it. I'm not in it. I mean, I don't know that I would say I'm a celebrity, but.
Can you ball, Franz?
Dude, I'm a baller.
Are you?
It's the only sport that I'm decent at is basketball, believe it or not. I'm not a sports guy. This half of the Geaux Rouge show is brought to you by the following sponsors. The Smith, Shanklin, Sosa personal injury law firm. This is my favorite go-to law firm. When people call me up for personal injury issues, this is where I send them. Realtor Brittany Melanson from Keller Williams. She will help you buy, sell, list, and move on. She's one of my favorite realtors. Breck Parks, Louisiana Tech Park. Sullivan's Steakhouse, your neighborhood steakhouse. And lastly, the Borchardt Law Firm. So in studio, Taylor, we have Francis from the Louisiana Arts and Science Museum talking to us about killer robots. Okay, they're not killer robots. 7th Annual Engineering Day Festival. Tell us all about it, Francis.
Okay, so while there will not be killer robots.
No Terminators.
No Terminators. There will be robotics demonstrations. We've got about 20 different community partners, many from the LSU College of Engineering, that will be doing all kinds of cool demonstrations, hands-on activities. It'll really be a great time.
So when is this and who can attend?
So it is this Saturday, March 14th. It is from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So you've got some time to enjoy.
So do
all
the
of
parade and then not drunkenly but soberly come to the robotics.
Exactly.
Well, let me ask you, who can attend? Is it
So
open to
it's
everybody or
open to everybody, all ages? There's something for little kids, for adults, teenagers, everybody.
So I have a 4-year-old Fisher. Shout out to Fisher. # Fisher, who loves Taylor. He loves robotics, and I'm sensing he's got an art side, but I'm sensing he also has like an engineering side. He likes to build stuff. He likes to like engineer stuff, rig stuff. I'm using the word rig because some of it looks like very, like not OSHA compliant engineering. So we may hit the parade and then come to this. I mean, now where is, stupid question, for those who don't know, where is Louisiana Arts and Science Museum?
So it's really easy to spot downtown Baton Rouge on the banks of the Mississippi River.
Love it.
100 River Road South. You'll see our big Irene W. Pennington Planetarium dome.
The planetarium.
Yep. In the planetarium, we'll be showing all kinds of different shows.
There's a Mesamerica.
Yes, Mesmerica is coming
Yes.
up March 27th, 28th, and 29th. Yeah, there's going to be a really
hot.
cool like visual music.
So let me ask you.
show.
Let me ask you this, Francis.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if I wanted to get more information on a website, where would I go?
LASM.org.
Anything else you guys have coming?
Everything's
So one more time.
LASM.org.
So anything else you guys got coming up besides the engineering day that we need to know about?
Yeah. So Mesmerica, that's the perfect tie-in.
Okay.
In the Irene W. Pennington Planetarium, 3 days at the end of the month.
So you don't know this, but you're going to probably come back, or Nick's going to come back.
And talk about Mesmerica.
So
yeah.
I have a little known fact about Franzi. I am enamored with planetariums.
Really?
I've loved planetariums since I was a little boy. There is just something about sitting in one. I feel like when I was a little kid, I can remember telling my mom that I thought I was in a rocket ship.
Oh my gosh.
So
yeah.
Fisher, #Fisher, has never been to a planetarium, Taylor.
Oh.
So we're taking the boy to...
Now, he'll be like transported to a different world.
Is Mesamerica kid friendly?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely kid friendly.
So,
kid friendly,
okay.
Yeah.
So, how long have you guys been doing... This is your 7th annual one, right?
Yeah. So since 2013.
And we're talking... If you're just tuning in, we're talking about the 7th annual Engineering Day Festival. How did y'all start this thing?
Well, engineering is such a great display of our mission to integrate art and science together.
Right.
Because engineering, you're building things, you're designing things, and there's, scientific principles at work as well. So it's just sort of an encapsulation of what we do at the museum, and also it's pretty fun.
Right.
If I say so myself.
Right. Like, there's nothing... Engineering is a fun thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Francis, I appreciate you coming in. Again, Francis Lee from the Louisiana Arts and Science Museum. We're talking about the 7th annual Engineering Day. It's going to be this Saturday, 10 to 3 at the museum. Anybody can come. Please come. Again, that website is
LASM.org.
Thank you.
And I would be remiss to not mention our wonderful sponsors, Albemarle, BASF, ExxonMobil, and Olin Corporation for helping make this possible.
Francis is all about dropping those sponsors. I like it.
Yeah,
So thank you so much for coming
Thank
in.
you so much for having me.
Have
This
a great
is awesome.
day.
Yeah, you too.
So, Taylor, before we get Dave and Demitria in, we need to talk about Wingamania. We got a little bit of time. We can talk about Wingamania, right?
Yeah, we got
So
time.
I hosted, Francis, you can stick around for a second.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I organized, with the assistance of several people, a 2nd annual Chicken Wing Festival in Baton Rouge. Now, I'm not the original Chicken Wing Festival guy in Baton Rouge. We've had other iterations of this. So we did it at Tin Roof last Thursday night. We had over 450 people there. The proceeds all go to Mary Bird Perkins. Chow Yum Fat won the entire thing. 2nd place, Overpass Merchant. 3rd place, and this is the people's choice, Francis and Taylor. So there were no judges. There was no rigging. People just voted on it was pure, like snow, pure. 3rd place, Sullivan's. Shout out to Sullivan's for winning 3rd place. Chicken wings. We ran out of chicken wings. There were so many chicken wings. So yeah, great event. We need a Wing-a-mania. So Chow Yum Fat gets this giant championship belt that looks like a WrestleMania belt, like a WWF or WCW or whatever it is now. What is it called? WWE?
WWE, yeah.
WWE. I'm behind the times. I'm dropping WCW. You can tell. I'm behind on my wrestling. So they get this giant Wing-a-mania belt, and they get to defend their title next year. So, and it was a great event. It was really, really nice. Tin Roof. Shout out to Tin Roof for hosting. Shout out to Reinhardt for giving us cases upon cases of wings that they donated. So all the vendors had to do was. I noticed you weren't out there.
No, I wasn't.
It's all right.
I had a prior engagement.
It's all right. Some people, other things are more important than charity chicken wing events for breast cancer, to fight breast cancer. That's okay. We stopped breast cancer one chicken wing at a time, Taylor. So anyways, with that being said, I just want to give a little update on that. Look, man, Taylor, by the way, Francis, Taylor's filling in for Brian Haldane today. I like it. I like it. So Taylor normally produces Brian's show every morning. So I get to hang out with Taylor generally on Wednesdays for Legally Served, which is my legal segment. So anyways, that being said, let's get Dave and Demitria in. let's get them in so we can talk about the Thrive Academy and the basketball tournament. Taylor, I don't know if you know this or not. I'm a basketball hoss. Okay,
Are you got some skills?
I have no skills at basketball. I can shoot a basketball, but okay. So, good morning. How are you guys?
Good
so
morning.
I've got David Baxter and Demitria,
That is
Larry, in to talk about Hoops to Help charity basketball game and the Thrive Academy. Welcome to the studio. So I was in Disney about a week or so ago, and it felt like I was there for months. And Dave reached out and said, "Hey, can we talk about this great basketball tournament?" It wasn't even on my radar. So this is, and by the way, this is how the Geaux Rouge radio show works, is I got to fill content every single week. So when people reach out and say, "Hey, can we talk about something that's cool?" I'm like, "Yeah, come on, talk about something that's cool." So then I did a little research. You guys are killing it. I mean, you're doing this first basketball tournament. First of all, what is Thrive? What is the Thrive Academy?
Thrive Academy was established 8 years ago by Cerebral, our CEO and founder. Thrive is a unique state boarding school. Right now, presently, we have 180 students at risk throughout the state of Louisiana. So these students come to us for a 5-day unique opportunity.
And then they go home on the weekends.
Yep, they go home on the weekends. They're back on Sundays. They have like college-like dorms. They have after-school programming. They're able to get jobs if they're a senior. So it's definitely encompassing education and home, giving those students structure that they might not see if they weren't at a place like Thrive Academy.
So little known fact about Franz, when I was in the Leadership Baton Rouge program with Breck, I actually took a guided tour of the Thrive Academy. It's off of Brightside, and
Right.
I went and did a tour of it. I got to see where everybody lives during the week and the communal living, and we talked about little things about how do they learn and all that. So I was very impressed with what I saw. It took me a minute before you came on. I was trying to make the connection, and then I realized when you said boarding school, I've actually seen it. So
Great.
So, first of all, what age groups or what classes, grades, do you guys teach? How many kids do you have enrolled? Talk to me a little bit more about the actual academy.
Right now, we're 6th through 12th grade.
6th through 12.
We actually had our very first senior graduating class last May.
Congratulations.
20 individuals, really excited about the Hoops to Help. Actually, I'm bringing some of that alumni back to play in this event on March 20th. But right now, we're right at about 180. 180 students. Again, some of our students are from the East Baton Rouge area, but then you have students from a lot of the surrounding parishes. So if you come on our campus on a Friday afternoon about 1:30, you'll see buses pulling up, our Thrive Academy vans pulling up to take kids that are outside East Baton Rouge, and they're on the road. They're taking kids back home, and then on Sunday starts all over. But if you were to walk on our campus right now, there's cafeteria, lunch is going on. There's study hall going on after school. Instead of our kids going home and getting on the bus, they go right over to their dorms.
So is it difficult? The thing I wondered at the time was the transition of going from being at your school for 5 days to going home to coming back. Is that a difficult transition for them, or is that just something they kind of get used to? And
I think it also depends on the age groups.
Okay.
I think our kids that have been at Thrive pretty much probably, for the last 4 or 5 years, they understand that transition. A student being brand new to Thrive, that's going to take a little bit. I kind of give it an example. It's kind of like a parent the first time their kid leaves away to go to college. That's an adjustment for parents.
Well,
so these guys are actually doing it at an earlier age, but building a lot of those life skills and skills to integrate and interact with others that aren't always put in front of kids at that age.
So, Dave, the first time I was on my own, I was 18 years old at LSU, and it did not go well. It was just not me living in a dorm, Taylor. Not a good scenario. So the last question I really have about the academy itself is the measurement of success, because you are helping out some kids in a wonderful way. You're teaching them some independent skills, some life skills, as well as having a good academic environment. How do you guys measure success with these kids in their daily lives? And then also, I mean, you got your first senior graduating class. Awesome. What's your measurement? What's your ruler, so to speak?
Yeah. That measurement we use at Thrive is not going to be just about our kids walking across the stage. It's that they're going to be a better version of themselves.
Better version of themselves.
Because every student and every individual is at Thrive, and I see this even as the strategic director on the foundation side for Thrive. I grow every day. because having the opportunity to sit down with one of these young men or young lady and have conversation, or even the teachers and our principals, everyone's growing on a daily basis there. So when you get to that graduation day and you see those individuals walk across the stage, and they might have been part of our dual enrollment program, doing welding or phlebotomy or CNA, or someone that you would have never thought could have been the class president, that shows it right there. Those are those lifelong skills that you can teach, but you can't. What I always tell the kids all the time, I can lead you to the water, but I can't force you to drink.
Right. I'm a criminal defense attorney. I tell that to my clients. So transitioning, you guys are working a charity event to help benefit the academy, right?
That is correct.
So talk to me a little bit about this Hoops to Help event. How did you come up with the idea? Give me the logistics of it. I like a good old-fashioned basketball tournament. So when was this idea conceived?
Well, I would say this idea was conceived in her brain about 2 months ago.
Okay.
She called me and she's like, we had a board meeting. I think I was the only one that was able to make it that day. And she's like, what do you think about the idea of doing a charity basketball game? And I was like, I love it. I'm a big basketball fan. She's like, let's do it at March Madness. Awesome.
No big deal.
Awesome. That was, great time. We were like, gosh, it would be awesome if LSU's playing that night, on a Friday night. It'd be great. So we had this grandiose plan. I mean, we had the ideas that we came up with, really, she came up with 99% of them, and I was just like, whoa, that sounds great. We really were trying to outkick our coverage on how far we were going to go with this thing.
So let me tell you.
Outdoor events, food trucks.
So doing any event, you probably couldn't hear me when I was talking about the Wingomania event I just put on.
Yeah.
When you put on large-scale events, there is some ambition that goes into that. And then 2 months, that's a quick turnaround for a big event.
You're giving me the same look that our school principal and Cerebral, our executive director, they looked at me the same way. And that's why Dave and the rest of the board members and our leadership team said, Miss Larry, maybe we need to scale back to just a game right now. And I'm like, okay, but I'm already planning for next year already. Right. So
we're setting the stage for next year's to be a little bit larger. But this year it's, we want to come up with a way to get people involved with the schools that maybe have not seen it before. Like you, I was introduced to Thrive when I was in leadership Baton Rouge back in 2015. We toured it. It was when the school was still over on Government Street. I was impressed with everything I saw. And since then, I've stayed in touch with Sarah over the years, and we have a lot of common friends. And then last year she called me and said, hey, we're looking for new board members for the foundation. Before she got the next word out, I'm like, I'm in.
Right.
You don't have to sell me on helping out. So this has been a great opportunity.
And this is, look, we live in a world where earlier we had folks talking about cortical visual impairment, where it's just one of those no-brainers where it's like everybody needs to get on board helping out an environment, an academy that's helping kids both get an education, learn independent living, getting out of some bad environments, and then integrating back into ways of living in a certain way. And I'm saying that we only have so much time. We could spend an entire episode on the Thrive Academy. So talk to me about the game. So coming up March 20th, right?
March 20th. Friday night, March 20th.
Right. So if I want to go to this, where do I go to get my tickets? Because there's different tickets too, right? There's normal tickets, Taylor, and then there's VIP tickets.
That's right. So, you want to be special or do you not want to be special?
Taylor likes to be special. I'm not special in any way, shape, or form. So talk to me about where to go get the tickets and what can attendees expect.
Attendees can expect, of course, the game that we're going to have going on. We have individuals from multitude of community leaders, community organizations such as 100 Black Men. We have actually the chief of police from Baker is playing with us as well. We have some individuals, ex-LSU players that are going to be playing. So the game will actually start at 5:30. But the nice thing about this, we're also going to be putting on a silent auction as well. We've got great stuff. You can do an exotic car experience you can bid on.
Exotic car experience.
2-night stay in New Orleans that same night.
You guys got some good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't mess around.
Yeah. Got a couple Napa Valley opportunities as well. So my team did really good in that short amount of time.
So wait, hold on. Let's rewind a little bit. Is the ticket an auction item or is it a auction bid? How does that all work? I just want to make sure that goes.
Right. If you go on our website, on our Facebook page, or even on our Thrive Baton Rouge website, you will actually see there's a link that'll get you where you can purchase a general admission ticket, which include you have an option to use concessions, but you also have option to do the silent auction. We're not limiting that to individuals.
Love it.
Okay. Then if you want a little bit more of a VIP experience, we have great restaurants such as Mestizo's and Jason's Deli, where we're going to have a VIP reception area, which is a $60 ticket.
Okay.
Again, all proceeds will benefit Thrive Academy through Thrive Foundation, but everyone will have the opportunity to bid on these items.
So again, March 20th. Again, where can they get their tickets?
They can go online to the Thrive Academy website, and there'll be a link to that. That's a long, complicated link.
But they can go on. Can they go on Facebook?
They go on our Facebook page.
Okay.
If they need to, if they need more explanation or anything, they can give me a call at 225-508-4038, and I can fill them in on more information on that as well.
Any hints you can give me at some of your celebrities? Because it's a celebrity basketball tournament.
Right.
We've got the chief of police from Baker. Who else? Talk to me.
Right now, with our celebrities, we're still got a couple other people we're working on right now. That's one of those things where I'm going to look to my wonderful board.
You need to talk, Dave. You need to talk to Brian Haldane. Brian coaches basketball.
Oh, all right.
Brian Haldane is he's a Baton Rouge treasure. He hosts a morning Talk 107.3 weekly show. It's every morning, actually. Taylor, we need to get Brian on that basketball team.
We need to get Brian.
He's a Baton Rouge treasure.
Is he? He's a Baton Rouge treasure?
Okay, he's a North Shore treasure. But that's
There you
neither here
go.
nor there.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah.
Right? And one of the things I will say is one of the great organizations we have that's helping us fill some of the teams is the Baton Rouge Ancient Athletes Society. So we reached out to Brass and we said, look, there's a lot of great guys that have been playing in Brass for years. So we've got 10 players from Brass. They're going to be one of the teams, and then we're going to match them up against our other celebrity groups. And
so this is going to be like a battle royale.
yes,
Yeah.
there'll
Okay,
be some
so-
trash talking going on.
Oh, no doubt. Well, one more time, we have the Hoops to Help charity basketball game coming up March 20th, Friday, March 20th, and it's going to be about 2 minutes left. I'm going to talk to them for another minute, and then I've got to talk about what else is going on this week. Dude, Taylor, I don't know if you know this. We got Thirsty Thursday this Thursday. Friday, we got a live women's conference feed. Shout out to Chelsea Giddens. She's going to be co-hosting that with me. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. That's Thursday and Friday. We're not even scratching the surface of what's going to happen this weekend. It's going to be, and also, have you noticed it's a little bit quieter without Chelsea here? I'm just going to throw that out here. Chelsea sometimes guest hosts with me. Chelsea's watching, so I know she's listening. It's a little quieter here. I kind of miss her a little bit. I miss the enthusiasm, the amped up. So, anyways, in our last time with you guys, VIP ticket $60, normal tickets $25. VIP gets you a little bit of goodness from Jason's Deli and Mestizo's. Any sponsors that we need to give some love to before we head out?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We've had some great sponsors. Home Bank, who's always been a huge contributor to Thrive Academy. We also have Cox Communications, Johnson Controls, their security system and HVAC system as well. And then we're actually pulling in some individuals from Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Wonderful.
So we're doing pretty well corporate-wise. It's just now getting some people in the stands to
You got to
watch.
sell some tickets now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we are going to do our part to help you guys sell. I'll do a Facebook reminder on Geaux Rouge. Thank you guys for coming in. Before we finish up, though, Taylor, let's talk a little bit about what we have coming up later this week. Thirsty Thursday with the league, Junior League. We're going to be talking about Touch a Truck. Touch a Truck. You can actually go touch a truck. Not on Thursday. You can have a cocktail on Thursday. But we're going to talk about Touch a Truck. And then Friday, we're going to be doing a live feed. Chelsea Giddens and I are going to be interviewing the folks from Junior League and Business First Bank about their women's conference, their women's leadership conference, first one they've done. So that's about it for this episode of the Geaux Rouge Show. Check us out on Facebook and social media. Franz Borchardt, Taylor saying good afternoon or good morning, and we'll see you next time.